Hey everybody, this is Gray Owl here. First post on YouTube here to walk you through one of the games that I am currently working on. It's a RPG, grindy, stat-based game. Influences for me come from Runescape Classic, like the really old Runescape original one, not even what I think a lot of people consider to be classic, which I would call Runescape 2 at this point. um, but the original one, and where it's just very much focused on leveling and grinding out stats. I've taken more of an urban approach to it, and I wanted to make a crime RPG. So I'm building it in Unity, and this is what I've got so far. So I'm in the process of it. I've actually decently far into the production of the game. I've finished a lot of stuff and still have a good amount left to go, but the game is very much functional and unbalanced at this point. But so I'm gonna go ahead and start this up and just show you a little bit. I've turned off cars and stuff. I'm actually gonna turn that back on for demonstration purposes because I coded some cars and civilians and stuff like that, but I paused it temporarily just so that I can speed up the loading. But let me turn that back on. So I'm going to go to a script manager that I wrote, and let's see, where did I put that? I think I put it in the world manager, player manager, world manager. All right, load cars, load civilians. And this will be a little bit more of an accurate representation of the game as it is right now. So go ahead and start this up, and you'll see that immediately the world gets populated with cars and people. Civilians. You can ignore some of these just random people sitting around in this floating laptop right here. It's just for testing purposes. So people walk around, they follow paths, and then they randomize themselves so they can go through crosswalks and stay out of the road and stuff like that. And I will show you as well the stats that I have. So the primary stats, we've got hits, strength, accuracy, defense, agility, boxing, stamina, stealth, luck, hacking, pickpocketing, larceny, cooking, growing, drug making, working, drug dealing, and gaming. If you have played RuneScape, you'll definitely be able to see similarities. Not that not that this game is based on RuneScape or anything like that, or that we've taken anything from their game, but more so just that the inspiration and the kind of games that I really like are those stat-based games where it's very open. You can choose what to do and what you want to level and progress through the world, except instead of being set in kind of a medieval magic based environment, it's a urban crime based RPG revolving around committing crimes and dealing drugs and stuff like that. So it's kind of a more modern urban take on it. So the drugs that we have, the skills that we have, instead of being like magic and ranging and stuff like that you'd see in like a RuneScape type game, we've got attack and strength and stuff that has to do with using physical weapons, and the ranged weapons are guns and stuff like that instead of being bow and arrow. So it's definitely something that I've enjoyed making and something that still have a lot of work to do. A lot of the leveling is coded already, and a lot of the different areas are coded into the game. So this is the main city area where you'll be able to kind of see that it's more upscale, I guess, so to speak. Like people are just kind of walking around, they're in business suits or shirt and ties, stuff like that, but you can kind of go behind people and pickpocket them and stuff like that. So you alt click on different objects in the game to kind of get this context menu that pops up. When you get too far away from them, the context menu will actually disappear. And let's just try to pickpocket a random person. So you'll see down here we have a kind of like a console that keeps up to date information about what's going on or things you try to interact with. So in this case, this person was too high of a level of pickpocketing to even succeed. So each person has a randomized pickpocketing level, and then we've got some people who have predetermined pickpocketing levels that are higher. So people like police officers are harder to pickpocket than random civilians. So if you try to pickpocket this police officer, they'll most certainly be at least level 80, which you see right there. Otherwise, if you just pick random people, you have chances of someone being level 1, level 20, 40, 60, etc., and chance of being able to pickpocket them. So if we pick this person and try to pickpocket them, so that person's level 60. Let's grab a couple more people. That person's level 60. Alright, so that person was low enough level. So it says you attempt to pickpocket, someone was looking, you failed to steal anything. So you can repeatedly try to pickpocket the same person. You can kind of follow them and walk behind them. And the assertion that somebody was looking is just kind of flavor text. Like nobody was actually, it doesn't actually have anything to do with people being around you. It's a random chance that rolls against your level and their level and stuff like that. So I'm getting super unlucky on these rolls, but let's just keep going until we get something. Okay, so he just bounced back. Not suspicious at all. Following this dude. I swear you can succeed. And again, this is unbalanced, so I haven't gone through and like actually tried to balance the equations yet. I wrote equations that I thought would make sense, and then if it proves too hard to level or too tedious, then I'll go back and adjust it. This obviously being pretty tedious. But as with any or as with most RPG games, the higher level you get, the easier it'll get to pickpocket from that person's level. So you see you stole $1 here, so I succeeded, and you'll see that my pickpocketing experience went up. When you do gain a level, it starts to get easier and easier until it's kind of like exponentially easier to succeed on someone who's low level. You also see I'm getting stamina EXP just from running around. So if you hold shift, you can run and you get stamina EXP. And the more that you the more that you run, the higher stamina level gets. And then the stamina bar up here in the top left will get bigger, so you can run for longer without running out. So you see, even though I'm holding shift, my guy's walking, and so I have to let that refill before I can run again. So another area of the game is sort of this unpopulated, I'm still working on it, but this unpopulated kind of like gang area. So I've got some cool animations that I'm working with, like this person's kind of slumped over and just kind of leaning against a wall. I've got this random woman dancing over here. I have not decided to do anything with it yet, just experimenting with different animations. So then over here I've got this this gym, this boxing gym that's kind of being guarded. You can't get in until you buy a gym membership, so you try to, but you have to be a certain level. So I'm just going to use some cheats real quick and level up. So you get this cool animation that I made every time you level up. You got your levels down here. So I'm high enough now where I'll be able to enter into the gym. So this is something I just finished building today, is this boxing gym. So I've got like people who are working out and sparring and stretching and everything, and then doing burpees, working out, lifting weights. So this is where you're going to work on one of your skills here, which is boxing. Boxing is hand-to-hand, no weapons allowed, and it's got this kind of cage fighting that you'll be able to do both in sparring and then also in professional fight promotions. So, for example, you can talk with this guy here, boxing promoter, and you can hire a sparring partner, and this guy will spawn in there. Right now I have random models spawning from the game, so this person is one of the drug cooks that can work for you. So right, like I said, right now the models are just totally randomized. So tell you what level they are, and you can go ahead and attack them, and you start into this boxing match. So I made it so you can't run from boxing matches. I just happened to knock that person out because they were level 1, and my boxing right now is level 5, so pretty far ahead of them. And every time you beat a sparring opponent, it goes up 1 level. So when you spar again, it's level 2. If you beat them, you spar level 3, and so on and so on. So this is one of the skills. You can join fight leagues, fight promotions, and you end up in some really cool arenas. So I'll show a preview of that. I'll teleport there real quick. So this is one of the arenas, and you'll see there's a cage, there's an audience, and there's various levels of arenas. I'm not sure if this is going to lag in the video because I'm doing screen capture, but each each promotion has a different level and it's different tiers. So you could be in a fight promotion. When you start out, it's going to be smaller and there's going to be less people there, and they're going to be easier. So like this is an example of one of the lower level promotions. You'll see we don't have the stadiums back here. It's a ring instead of a cage. So as you go up in levels and you get better and you advance, you get to do cooler and cooler fight promotions. Then we also have this mall area here. This is something I was experimenting with for just kind of people walking around the mall. I'm going to fill in those with different variations of people later, but people will wander all over the mall randomly, stop, pause, turn around, pick a new location, and wander through it. There's different places where you can work. So one of the skills here is working. So you can work at any of these shops and level up those. You can go to the arcade and you can work on your gaming skills by playing games and winning prizes and stuff like that. So the game is super complex. I can't go over all of it in this video, but this is sort of just a brief introduction. If this is your type of game, I think you'll know it from seeing it. Like, I think this kind of game is very polarizing for people. Either they don't get it and they look at it and say, wow, this looks, super boring, or they look at it and they say, oh my god, I want to level up my hacking skill, or I want to level up my pickpocketing skill, or I want to go to the mall and work in these different shops and level up and work my way through the ranks. So either this game is interesting to you or it's not, and that's kind of something that I'm okay with. I'm not building it for other people right now. I'm building it for myself because this is the kind of game that I've been wanting to play. I've played the hell out of RuneScape, and since I was young, since I was in elementary school. So I've been playing RuneScape Classic for, I don't know, like 15, 20 years, something like that. Yeah, it's been a long time. So, I've played it as many times as I can, and I've seen private servers and stuff like that, and gone through the levels and started new characters and over and over and over again, and I've extracted all of the fun that I think I can out of it. It's a great game. It's absolutely fantastic game. But I wanted a similar style of game, but it's just in a totally different setting, totally different skills and different gameplay and some, different mechanics and stuff like that. So I'm building it for myself, and I think my ultimate plan is I think I'm going to release this game for free eventually. If people have interest in it, if nobody has interest in it, then it's whatever. Something that's a hobby for me, and yeah, I'm having a lot of fun making it. So I'll probably get into some Unity tutorials and stuff like that later, and show some behind the scenes stuff. But this is just sort of an intro to the game. There's plenty more parts of the game. There's plenty of awesome epic things right here you can actually unlock. I'll just show this one real quick. Spam some level up real quick, get some cash. So this is one of the hacking terminals, and when you do this, you can buy this whole lot, and then you can start building stuff on it. So you can build drug production facilities on here. So you can build, like, for example, I'll just show the one for weed. So you can buy this weed grow op warehouse basically, and when you go in, it's empty, and here you have some things for packaging and some vats and stuff for chemicals, and then essentially as you make more money, you can I'm actually going to go ahead and buy a fence real quick because it looks cool. I just bought the gate surrounding the whole lot. You can buy plants and you can buy upgrades and stuff, and you can grow weed. So go to the contractors, marijuana warehouse, and you can buy individual plants. So it'll tell you here the price. And again, this is unbalanced. I haven't gone through and balanced it out yet, but I'll just buy 10 plants just to show what it looks like. But every time you buy a plant, it adds it to your warehouse. And when you come in here, now you've got your grow op going on. So it's really cool. Everything has some awesome assets that I've purchased, and some things I've customized, and some assets I've made myself, and just a combination of really, really cool things that fit for this game. So everything is visualized, whereas a lot of games, it would, like, growing weed or selling drugs or something might be like a little side task. It's one of the primary tasks for this game, but not something you have to do. I mean, you can play through the game, become a professional boxer, or you can play through the game and fight different gang members, or you can sell drugs, or you can steal from pharmacies and you sell drugs that you stole, or you can make your own drugs or whatever. So it's a work in progress right now. I do have a lot done, and I do anticipate finishing this game. I don't have an exact date, but depending on my free time and everything, probably a couple months. I don't think it's going to take that long to finish everything up. I've built a lot of the core mechanics, and now I just need to kind of fill in a lot of the blank space. So, like, for example, I built this enemy, and it's a spawner, and basically he spawns, and he'll kind of randomly wander around, and when you kill him, another one will spawn in his place. And so the point is that you can, and I filled his loot table with food. So he exploded and died into a bunch of food. But the point is I can, add new enemies into these spawners and then put the spawners all over the city, and you'll see he'll kind of wander to random spots within a wanderable zone that I made. So I can, create a spawner over here and tell him to only wander left and right, and I can make that a different model or a different person. And so I'm just gonna, I've built out a lot of the core mechanics, then I just need to fill out the loot tables and fill out the city and add some more things. I've got a prison over here that I'm working on from another asset pack, and I used some fences to build a basketball court over here. There's actually fences from the prison that I shrunk down and built some basketball hoops over here. So I'm going to fill this out. This will be a different area with a different tier of enemy. So there's a lot in this game, too much to show again, but just wanted to kind of give that brief preview and gauge interest, see if anyone's interested. So I'll probably make some more videos and start going behind the scenes and showing some of the coding as I finish and improve on this game. So until next time, appreciate you tuning in, and I will be releasing another video soon. Bye.